Countable versus relative. So there's certain types of words that are countable words or countable language, and then there's other types of words that are used for relative stuff. And my test in terms of whether I should be using a relative or countable word is this thing continuous, or can it be broken up into discrete parts? And discrete and continuous are like very mathematical terms, but basically continuous means something like water in a pool. When we talk about how much water is in a pool, we say there's more water than there was yesterday, or there's less water than there was the day before. When we talk about discrete, we talk about how many ounces of water are in the pool. So ounces, I would say there are fewer ounces of water in the pool than there was yesterday, because ounces are actually countable. I can count them because they're broken up into parts. Whereas the total amount of water in the pool is either less or more. There's more water, there's less water in the pool. But the ounces of water would be greater or fewer. So the words that relate to countable, here are some examples. And for relative, less, more. Little is an interesting one. So you have little tact in social situations. You have very little tact. That means you don't have very much tact. So that means that you're not very good in social situations. Versus if I were talking about, so a good example is you have very little skill when it comes to public speaking, but you have very few skills outside of mathematics. So you have few skills, but you have very little skill at doing something. This is a bit nuanced, but it's worth bringing up here. Now let's look at this example up here. So there are fewer or less stars in the sky tonight than there were last night. What do you think it should be? Stars, there's billions and billions of stars in the sky. It's such a large quantity that a lot of times it seems almost like it's continuous. But each star is its own thing, and that makes it discrete. So that means that it's countable. We could actually say there's 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars. So there are fewer stars in the sky tonight than there were last night, not less. So one thing to look for is just as you evaluate your answer choices, always look for differences between the sentences. And if you see that you're getting a mix of fewer and less, see what that relates to, and then try to make a decision about which one of those is definitively right or wrong. It's not the most common screen, but it will show up. And when it shows up, it's like a home run screen that can knock out a few examples or a few sentences right off the bat and get you down to 1, 2, or 3 correct answers without any other work.